So hi guys, this is not a planned video. Something happened 30 minutes back which gave me an idea. I thought that I should make a quick video about it. So let me give you a background. Any email that is sent to the public HR email of my company, it gets forwarded to me because I am the director who is responsible for overseeing whatever happens in the HR. So that means anyone who sends their resume to HR, their resume lands in my inbox, so I get to see a lot of resume almost every day. So 30 minutes back I received an email which reminded me of a blog post that I had written in 2013. So in 2013 I started writing a series of blog posts about how engineers in India and across the world, and not even engineers, anyone who wants to get a job can become more employable. So it covered a lot of topics, one of them being what the email that you send to a prospective employer should be like. So this is the email that I am talking about, and this is the part that really triggered this video. So this is the blog post that I was talking about. You can see it's written on July 23rd 2013, and it was the second post of the series. But again, so I had mentioned point wise what all an employer expects in an email if you want that employer to take your email seriously. So I think I'll make a quick video about this. We will go point by point, try to cover all the points as quickly as possible, so that anyone who is watching this video knows and does not make these mistakes again. So one more point, this is a video more about the don'ts of the email and not about what to do, because that is a huge topic. If I start listing all the things that should be there, I don't think I'll be able to cover it in a short video. But if I get an email which does not follow these guidelines, or most of the guidelines are not followed, I do not even open the resume. That is the level of strictness I follow when it comes to resumes. So let's take this point by point. So the first point is use a sensible or a presentable email. Please do not use the email address that you registered when you were a class 8, class 9 student. I do not want to receive an email from loverboy4you@hotmail.com. I know it is a very small point, so I'll not dwell on it, but it actually matters. The second point is, are you providing a subject to the email? Now this should not be mentioned, but the number of emails that do not have any subject that land in my inbox is way too high. As a rule, never send an email without a subject. If the email does not have a body, that is still acceptable, but an email without a subject is, I consider it disrespectful to the receiver. So the email that triggered this video, this one does not have a subject. You were not even bothered to think or write 2 words, 3 words in the subject line, and you expect me to invest my time in trying to hire you. That is not going to happen, and most likely until and unless the employer is really desperate to hire someone, they are not going to do that as well. This is not cool. Moving ahead, is my subject clear enough? Now we have gotten past if the subject is there or not. Now the subject has to be clear enough. Let's take an example. This is a really poor subject. What does this even mean? What does please find my resume mean? I would assume that the other person means that I have lost my resume, please find it. This is an email where you have written a very poor subject, there is no body and there is only an attachment. You have to understand, this is a demand driven market. I do not need you as much as you need me. So until unless you convince me to even give you a thought, this is not going to work for me. Moving ahead, is the formatting of the resume uniform? Use uniform font sizes, font colors, and email. That please never send me an email in Comic Sans MS. I will not like that. Please do not. Am I using a salutation? Again, this is kind of tricky. You never know what is the gender of the person on the other side of the receiving end, but again, a general practice across the industry is that if you write dear sir, that should be okay, but please do not do this. I think dear sir or madam, dear madam or sir. Now this is stupid. Honestly, I know you have tried to cover all the bases, but this does not work for me. A simple dear sir or dear HR manager should be sufficient. Am I giving an intro? Please write something about yourself in the email. Do not assume that just because you have attached your resume, your work is done. I'm so sorry. Do not expect that you don't need to write anything and the employer will find everything in the resume. Write a short bio, a short description of who you are and why I should even bother to open your resume succinctly. Again, please do not write a story there. I'm not going to read that as well. Moving ahead, have I mentioned the reference, if any? So what happens is a lot of people get referred to the employer. So it could be a friend of mine who has referred someone to my company. It could be one of my existing employees who has referred their friend. The chances of your resume being opened get magnified many times if you make sure that you have mentioned the reference. You have to understand, I am more likely to open your email or open your resume if I know that it comes from a source which I already trust. So if there is a reference, make sure you mention that. Do I have a sensible email signature? Yes. Again, going back to the first point, do I have a sensible email address? If that is a requirement, then definitely this has to be a requirement. Do not put any funky quotes, GIF images or anything. A plain thanks and regards, or even just your name is sufficient. Do not write any juvenile comments or anything. This is a serious matter. You need a job and I want to hire you. Let's try to help each other. Last thing, have I proofread the email? So now this is not something specific to this requirement. This works for every written communication that you have in your whole life, be it a Facebook post, be it a tweet, be it a text message. I don't have to emphasize that if it's an email to a prospective employer, how important this is. 90% of the work the computer is already doing for you. So if you have typed an email in Gmail, it will do a lot of work for you by underlining the wrong spellings with red letters, with red lines, and it will let you know where you are wrong. You could use services like Grammarly, or I'm sure there are other services which will help you even get your grammar corrected. But again, if you neglect the red squiggly lines which signify your spelling mistakes and you send it across to me, it sends a very, very bad message. Again, at this point, the whole purpose of this process is to ensure that I open your resume. What happens next is a different story altogether, and I think I will make another video about that. I have a blog post about that as well, and I think I can make a video about that. But at this point, the entire battle is about getting me to open your resume. And if you take care of these points, I can guarantee you, or you can be 99% certain your resume will at least be opened. If you do not take care of most of these things or some of the major things, and which I'm sure you are intelligent enough to understand which of these are major, trust me, no one is going to open your resume. One thing that I did not mention in the blog post, but I remember now, never do this. Do you understand? If you want a job, you should at least make effort enough to send individual emails to all the prospects. This is not acceptable to, it's not acceptable to me, this is not acceptable to any of these. You have to understand, if you are not even willing to put some effort in your career, why will I even bother considering you? So this is where I will conclude this video. If this video gets some decent response, I will try to make videos for all the posts in this series. I think by helping prospective employees, I will be helping myself and the other employees as well. Share this video if you know anyone who is looking for a job or who is soon going to enter the job market, so that they do not make these mistakes. If you like this video, click the like button. If you have any feedback or you think I missed anything, mention it in the comments. I will surely take it up.